everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Erica from Confessions of a Homeschooler, and today I am going to share my top history curriculum picks with you guys. So hopefully this will help you if you are looking for a history curriculum. I do have reviews for some of these things as well, and I will try and link them below that just go in a little bit more detail, but this is what we have tried and have liked, and so I just wanted to share it with you in the hopes of helping you get started on your journey for looking for homeschool curriculum. Okay, so let's start off with kind of number one. These are not in any particular order as to my favorites or anything like that. I'll just talk about each one of them individually. So the first one I want to share with you is a Becca. Now this is I think this is 8th grade, if I'm not mistaken. But they of course have history for all of the different grades. And one of the things that I really love about a Becca is the content is very appropriate to the grade level, and so whatever grade your student is in, it actually makes it's just written really well for that level. It's not too above their head, not too easy, and so I like that it's just like a nice good level. There's definitely a challenge in it. It's definitely more of a traditional kind of curriculum, something they would do if they were in a school classroom, so that may not be up your alley. Or sometimes there are years when I'm just looking for something that I can just kind of open and go. Becca is great for open and go. All I have to do is kind of read through the teacher's manual for the day. We kind of go over the lesson, the kids get an assignment, and it's really, you know, reading assignment, then they do some quizzes, tests, things like that. It's really fairly straightforward and easy to follow. That said, it's not super hands-on and engaging, so if you want something a little more hands-on, this might not be the curriculum for you. If you wanted something that's more of like open and go, not a whole lot of prep work on your part, then Becca is definitely a good contender. This is the teacher's manual for this one. And essentially what the teacher's manual is basically a direct copy of the student text, but there are little notes and whatnot in the columns down here. I don't know if you can see this, but there's little numbers and whatnot. Those directly correlate with the questions at the end of the chapter. So each time your student reads a chapter, there's questions at the end that they have to answer, and so I like that. It definitely kind of promotes reading and comprehension, and you can make sure that they did the work. In the very back is the actual teacher's manual, and it just tells you exactly what to do every day if there's a test or a quiz or whatever. And so it's actually really straightforward, quite easy. There's maps and whatnot in here. And so that's the teacher's manual. It kind of comes as the textbook plus the lesson plans in one. And then for the student side of things, they've got, at least for this one, every year is a little bit different, but this one, she has an activity book. There's a test key, there's an activity book and an answer key for them. And then she's also got like a project civics activity projects book. They don't all have this. This is just this grade. And then here's her textbook. And so she's got the exact same thing I have, only without all the answers and whatnot. And so it's a good curriculum. It's definitely solid. Like I said, it's right on point as far as grade levels go, as in my opinion. It is quite quiz and test heavy, so they have several quizzes, you know, and then tests sprinkled in there as well. And so definitely more of a traditional kind of curriculum. If you're looking for something, this is great for teaching them how to take notes, how to study for tests and that kinds of thing, which I think is a very important skill as well. But anyways, a Becca is definitely, you know, a solid, they've been around for a while curriculum, and a good contender if you're looking for something kind of out of the box. They are also a Christian company, and so history, God, the Bible, all those things are mentioned in this curriculum. If that's not something you're looking for, this might not be for you, but that was definitely a bonus for history in my book. The other thing that we have done, and we're actually using right now, and I really do enjoy this one, is the story of the world. And I'm doing this as a group. This is great to do as a group, whereas the Becca is more like each grade is kind of doing their own one. This is great if you want to do history with a group of kiddos together, and I think it's great for a multiple of ages. You can either have older students do the text on their own and answer those questions and things like that, activities, or you can do it as a group. We actually do it as a group right now, but you could do it either way. And then it also comes with this, and I have a whole review on this as well, but this is the activity book, and this is just their volume 1. I think they have 4 volumes if I recall correctly. And so there is tons of activities and whatnot, and then in the back of this book, you probably were starting to see those, are worksheets that correlate with all of the activities as well. And so the worksheets, at least for the level 1, are pretty easy. Definitely for younger kids. I wouldn't necessarily use them for my older kids because they're just like, you know, they're mapping and things like that, which is fine, but also coloring pages and things that are just a little bit too easy for older kids, in my opinion. But the reading itself is probably my favorite part of this. There is definitely a plethora of activities in here. You can choose to do them, you can skip them, but the reading is where I think the real jewel is in this curriculum. It's very interesting. The stories are written in such a way that it's engaging for you, so it's definitely not like a dry, here's the facts kind of textbook, which is kind of more how Becca is set up. This is definitely more of like a novel that you'd want to read. Like the things that we're reading in here are interesting, they're fun. Everybody has loved doing this. We really enjoy our reading time, and so I'm really actually quite loving this. And so I think for my younger daughter, we'll probably continue with this. As my kids get older, we're doing something else, which I'll mention next. But so far, I actually am really liking this. And like I said, they do have like 4 levels of this, so this is just the first one. And so that is what my younger kids are doing. My oldest, who is in 9th grade this year, is doing BJU Press online, and I have a review for that as well, so I'll link that below. That goes into more detail, but that is probably by far been one of my favorite all-time history curriculum when it comes to older kids. I'm almost hands-off on it, so I like that aspect of it. I like that it's really teaching her to be more independent with that, which is what she needs at this age. And it's actually really easy for me to kind of monitor. I'm not completely hands-off, so I still have some control over what's happening, which I also like. I know some people were saying they wanted to be completely hands-off and just have another teacher grade things, and so that might not be, you know, it definitely still relies on the parents somewhat, but I like that. I like that I can go in and kind of, if, for example, there are times when she has spelled a word wrong, or maybe she, you know, it was like a multiple choice question, and or not multiple choice, but it was like she had to type in the answer, and she maybe did a plural answer and theirs was singular or something like that, and I still went in and was able to give her the point for that because the answer was technically correct. She maybe just had a misspelling or something like that. And so I like that I can still go in and do that. I also grade her essay questions. It tells me everything that should be included in her essay, and then I just kind of have to make sure. So it makes it super easy for me to go in and grade her and give her points and whatnot. And so I still have some control, but it's still quite independent for her. And so I definitely plan on continuing on with that. I love it. She actually likes it as well. One of the things that we like, she watches a video pretty much every day. There's a video, and then she's got a writing assignment. Some days she just has a reading assignment, not writing, sorry, reading assignment. She has a reading assignment. Sometimes every now and then she'll have a little worksheet activity in there. She has to take quizzes and tests. There are some side projects that they have her do. But the way it's set up is just really flows really nicely, in my opinion. Nothing is a shock to her. If she has a test coming, she knows. She has had ample time to study for it. The teacher for the video lessons is great. She has PowerPoints that pop up onto the screen, so as she's talking, it makes it really easy for them to take notes off of that. And she's really clear on what's expected of them, and, you know, just explaining the assignments and things like that. And so I'm really, really enjoying that, and I think that I don't think I could have picked a better one for her for high school, quite honestly. She really likes it, I really like it, and I'm planning on having that for my son for next year. He'll be in 9th grade, so I'm planning on just continuing on with the BJU online. They also have a textbook version of that as well. Of course, the online courses are a little bit more pricey, and in my opinion, I kind of mix it up, right? I'm willing to spend a little bit more on a video lesson for her for history, so that I'm not the one having to teach it, because I honestly think that the lady that they have and how it's set up and everything is just doing a much better job than I would probably do here. For younger kids, I don't necessarily agree. I don't want my 3rd grader sitting in front of a computer watching a lesson like that. I prefer to do it with her and we interact and things like that. So I think it just depends on, you know, what your needs are and what you're looking for. But for high school, for sure, this has absolutely been probably one of the best decisions that we have made. I really can't speak highly enough of it. I love how it's organized. I love how the grading is. It's just easy for everybody all around, and I feel like she is doing a really good job with it as well. And so BJU Press online history is definitely in on my top picks for sure. The other history curriculum that I kind of wanted to mention, and it's history/geography, is my road trip. That is probably Road Trip and Expedition Earth are probably one of my favorite ones that we have ever done of all time. They are both really hands-on. There's a lot of fun things. We did them as a group, so they're great to do with multiple ages. Expedition Earth goes less into the history, but more into culture and geography and science and things like that. And then the road trip has a history component with it that talks about the history of the United States, which is great to do. Most curriculum hit that around 4th or so grade, but it kind of depends on your state. But anyways, it covers, you know, of course, geography and all of that, and there's a lot of history in there. And I just felt like it was really fun. It was really hands-on. The books that we read were engaging and interesting, and they definitely were not like dry, kind of boring textbooks and whatnot. And so those two are probably my all-time favorite curriculum that, of course, I wrote them, but we used them. We wrote them to use, and they were some of my favorites. So anyways, those are my top picks for history curriculum this year. If I change any of that, I'll make sure to refilm a new video, but for now, that is what we're doing, and we are really enjoying them. And I hope that helps give you some idea of what might fit your family's needs as well. If you have any questions, you're welcome to always email me or leave a comment below. If you have a history curriculum that your family absolutely loves, please leave that below in the comments as well, with maybe some pros and cons of why you like it. That way other people watching this video can get some of that information and glean from that as well. So, and then I also have a community where we do a lot of forum talking, and I'll link that below for you guys as well. You can ask questions and get feedback from not just me, but other homeschoolers as well who maybe have used something that I haven't. So anyways, I hope all of that helps you out. Good luck with your search for a history curriculum. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.